Welcome everybody to the Power of the Pad. We are so excited to have you here today, and we cannot wait to get started. If you just want to come on in while we're letting everybody get settled in, and we put a comment over on the side, on the right-hand side of your screen, asking for you to tell us where you're dialing in from today. We would really love to know. Welcome everybody to the and I am running all the tech on the back end. So excuse that reverberation. I am so excited to have everybody here. So on the right-hand side of your screen, just please tell us where you're from. We would love to know where you're dialing in from today. All you have to do is comment on my campaign update and let me know. And like I said, we're super thrilled to have you all here today. So to kick us off, I just want to introduce myself because maybe you aren't familiar with who I am. Maybe this is your first Days for Girls event. We host, by the way, many virtual events throughout the year to celebrate our work at Days for Girls. And so if this is your first time here, let us know. We are so excited to have you, and we can't wait to tell you more about the incredible work that we're doing. So I am the Chief Development and Communications Officer at Days for Girls International, and I lead the global development and communications for the entire organization across 6 continents in 145 countries. I'm also the host of the Days for Girls podcast, which is an amazing show about empowering women and girls around the world through sustainable development. And we do have a pretty strong focus on that podcast about menstrual health, because that is where we are focused in our work. So to kick us off, get everybody acquainted, really ground us in what Days for Girls does, I'm going to show you on the next slide a video of a Days for Girls distribution where we actually distributed Days for Girls kits and menstrual health education in Malawi. So here we go. I'm going to play that one more time. So this is Eunice Banda, who is one of our Days for Girls enterprise leaders. She's also our Malawi country representative, and she is the one that you see in the orange t-shirt and the amazing skirt. So she is leading the girls in a chant. They've just received their Days for Girls kits, and they're really excited. And you just please excuse the quality of this video because it was taken on an iPhone, but I had to show it to you because I just think it is so cool. I don't know about you, but that just makes my heart warm to see them chanting like that and their smiling faces. So we're going to show you some another video here in a little bit that's a little bit better quality, and show you some of the amazing work that we're doing around the world. So it's 6:04. I want to make sure that we go ahead and get going. I am so thrilled today to invite Marley Williams, who is a dear friend of mine. I have worked with Marley on multiple occasions, and Marley is our keynote speaker and our MC for today. Marley's an international interactive keynote speaker who has worked with organizations like Nike, the United Way, DoorDash, and many colleges and schools across the United States. She is the founder and director of Camp Yes, which I've personally been to. It's amazing. It's a transformational summer camp experience that has empowered hundreds of women, including myself, to say yes to themselves. So I couldn't think of anybody more perfect to host today's event and to MC and kick off our International Day of the Girl celebration. Marley, I'm going to let you take it from here.
Thank you so much for having me. I am stoked to be here. It's fun to see where you all are from. We have Arkansas in the house, Portland, Phoenix, Bellingham, Gale, Heller, Poulsbo, Rotary, all sorts of places. So that is the beauty of the virtual world that we live in, is all of you from around the world have the invitation to make a difference tonight together. So I am going to dive right in, my friends. Let's do this. gonna make sure get my slides going here. All right, here we go. I am a hopeful optimist. It's true. And in a world that seems to be getting crazier and crazier by the day, this is a radical act. As a hopeful optimist, I am someone who sees the glass more than half full. Someone who celebrates my wins a little too soon. But above all else, my friends, being a hopeful optimist means having a vision for what is possible in the world and having the courage and the conviction to take bold, inspired action towards that vision every single day, no matter what. Like Jess said, my name is Marley Williams, and I am a professional camp counselor for grown-ups, which essentially means my job in the world is to help people play for a living and to tap into their joy. I am honored to be your MC and host as we go on this beautiful journey together this evening. And my mission here tonight with you is to help unleash the inner hopeful optimist inside each and every one of you. It's in there. Imagine this part of you being like your inner Oprah or Rosa Parks or Maya Angelou or anyone else who inspires you. This part of you that has hope for a world of equity and justice in the midst of the craziness we might be living in right now. Who inspires you is one of my questions for you tonight. Studying powerful leaders who have changed the world, believed in a world that they could not yet see. They believed in their vision so fiercely that others followed as they shared their convictions for their dreams they had, no matter what. And during my 20 years as an educator, coach, and speaker who is passionate about social justice and equity work, there's part of me that's had a hard time really owning this hopeful optimist part of myself. Because here's the thing, as I'm sure you know, there's a lot in the world to be mad about. And I've asked myself if being a hopeful optimist means that I'm not paying attention or that I don't care. It reminds me of that bumper sticker, maybe some of you have seen it, that says, if you aren't angry, you aren't paying attention, right? Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't be angry, because to be honest, there's a lot to be angry about, given everything that's going on in our world, from wars to climate crisis to gender inequity. And here's the thing. Being angry has a function because it tells us when something isn't okay. But it's only the first step. It's only the starting point. When Celeste founded Days for Girls, she saw an injustice in the world and did something about it. My question for you is, how do we allow that anger to fuel us to do something better and do something different and be that change that we want to see in the world? Because we live in a world right now that is not equitable, where injustice happens on a daily basis, where there are wars and gender inequity and poverty and lack of basic needs, such as not having menstrual products or health education. And sometimes, my friends, it is hard to know what to do, where to start, and how to keep going if we've been doing this work for a long time. And being a hopeful optimist isn't about pretending these injustices aren't happening. I believe it's what allows us to take a stand for what is possible and to be hopeful when it doesn't seem like there's any hope. So tonight, my friends, I want to give you 4 specific things that we can all do to unleash the hopeful optimist inside of you. Are you ready? If you are, say, I'm ready. I can hear you. I can feel you, even though I can't see you. All right, here we go, my friends. Number one is dun, 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 the big reveal. There's a little bit of a delay, so sorry about the slides here, but we'll get there. I'm clicking. There we go. Can we do it? Okay. Number one is to create a vision for that inspires you. Right? So the first step on your mission of being a hopeful optimist is having the courage to have a vision for what is possible, even when we can't see it right now. This is about asking these big questions of what kind of world do we want to create? What is the world that we all want to live in? What does equity look like and sound like and feel like in our communities, where we work, where we live, and around the world? A vision is something that we can see and feel and touch and taste. A vision helps pull us forward towards the world that we want to live in. And the vision for Days for Girls is that they believe in a world where periods are never a problem, and menstrual equity, they believe in menstrual equity everywhere, period. What does that mean? It means making sure that periods are never a problem is the vital mission that Days for Girls has been working on for over 14 years. Their mission is fundamental to achieving gender equity, and the most exciting and important part of that is they implement their programs in a scalable way that creates sustainable, long-term, systemic change. There are a lot of things that are hard to change in the world, but menstrual equity is not one of them. And this is something that we can change in our lifetimes. All it takes are comprehensive, holistic solutions like the ones that Days for Girls offers, and from the support and generosity of the amazing people like you that are here tonight. So I want to thank you in advance for stepping up to being a part of the solution, because the price of a pad isn't much, but the equity it creates is priceless. So my question for you, as we're stepping into really unleashing the inner hopeful optimist within, is what is your vision for the world that you want to create? What's the world that you want to live in, that you want to pass down to your kids and your grandkids, right? That's that inner hopeful optimist can see that vision. Even when there's no hope, we have hope, right? That is key number one to being a hopeful optimist, knowing your vision for the future. And once we know our vision, once we know where we're going, key number two is to take bold, inspired action towards that vision every single day. Right? So once we have that vision for the world that we want to live in, we can take action to make that vision a reality. Sometimes there's so much injustice happening, and it seems like we have so far to go, and it's easy to get overwhelmed. Some of you out there tonight might be passionate about taking action by going to a rally or protesting on the streets. Some of you are working on creating new policies. Some of you are here tonight to find your own way to contribute to a cause you believe in and support this incredible organization that's doing such important work in the world. Whatever your role is, we all have a place in this work and making our world a better place. What specific actions can you take to make the world around you more inclusive, more equitable? I think sometimes it's easy to wait for the big moments or big projects or initiatives to take action. And I believe that it happens in small ways all the time. Tonight is one of those moments. Tonight, you can contribute to an organization that is making a huge difference around the world. The cost of a Days for Girls pad and these awesome kits that I have with me is $10. but the opportunity it provides for equity is priceless. $10. That's like 2 coffees. All right. Any contribution you make is a step towards gender inequity. And as you all know, as I know, sometimes it's the small moments that make the biggest difference. All of us here tonight together sharing this experience. So my other question for our key number 2 in unleashing your inner hopeful optimist is, what is one action that you are going to take right here, right now, to help create the change that you want to see in the world? $1, $5, $10, $100, whatever you got. This is an action that you can take knowing that your money is going to make a difference in the lives of these amazing girls and women all over the world. Okay, that's key number 2. We're rocking and rolling. We got key number 3 coming up. Key number 3 is giving ourselves permission to celebrate our wins along the journey of creating a more equitable world. Right? Permission to celebrate. This is so important, right? Because how do we have hope for the future is that we celebrate where we are and how far we've come. With so much to be done in the world of equity and justice work, it's hard to give ourselves the time and the space and permission to celebrate the steps that we've taken. And tonight, you have permission to celebrate. You know, a lot of you that are here have contributed to the Days for Girls mission for years and years and years, right? And tonight is about giving you a boost, filling your cup up so that you can go out into the work and do the incredible work that you're doing and contribute to organizations like this and the places that you care the most about. And we're here tonight to celebrate the accomplishments that Days for Girls has already achieved, right? We have to look at how far that we've come. Over the past 14 years, Days for Girls has impacted 2.6 million people's lives in over 145 countries in 6 continents. And I met Celeste Mergens years and years ago, the founder of Days for Girls. And like, sometimes we think like one person can't make a difference, right? But her vision made this huge difference along with the village and the incredible team at Days for Girls. And we want to acknowledge and celebrate the difference that they've already made all over the world. Today is also International Day of the Girl, which is a day to celebrate the power and potential of girls all over the world. And it's also the first day of the Days for Girls End of the Year campaign that you get to be a part of, which is pretty freaking cool and exciting. All right, this is key number 4, my friends, to being a hopeful optimist and unleashing that within you is to contribute to organizations who care about making this world a better place. Right? Not all of us have the time, energy, or bandwidth to like start our own nonprofit and to like sew these kits and send them out. They do that for us. They make it so easy to make a difference, right? This is a room full of people who are now, all of you out there are now hopeful optimists. And tonight you get to practice taking action for the vision of the world that you want to create and be a part of. This is your moment. Tonight is the night. And you have an opportunity to contribute to something bigger than you, and a mission and to a mission and an organization who, again, is just doing absolutely incredible things in this world. So, in a world that seems to be getting crazier and crazier by the day, I believe what the world needs now is love, sweet love, and it also needs hopeful optimists who will continue to show up and do the work day after day, who will hold the vision for the future of what is possible, we create pathways for people not just to survive, but to thrive. Equity is a verb, not a noun. And it is time to fiercely believe in our vision for what is possible, to take bold, inspired action towards that vision every single day, and to celebrate our wins along the way. and I'm trying to click on my slides, making sure they go to celebrate our wins along the way. I am a hopeful optimist. Welcome to the club. Let's celebrate and donate. I think if I'm pointing in the right direction, hopefully that's correct. There is a donate button right here. And so I just want to thank you all. Hopefully that helped you unleash your inner hopeful optimist tonight so that you can go out in the world and be the change makers and the leaders you want to be. And guess what? It starts right here, right now. And we have a vision for this event tonight. We have a goal. We have a dream, if you will. And our goal tonight is to raise $10,000. All right. And we need your help to do that. And you took the first step just by being here, by being in the room. And now all we need to do is invite you to donate. Get out that credit card. This amazing Give Butter platform makes it really easy to do that. And every little bit helps. Just $10 pays for one of these amazing Days for Girls kits, providing a girl with the products and education she needs to manage her period safely and with dignity. And here's what's really, really cool, everybody. If we get to 5K tonight as a community, Altera Advisors will match that donation with another 5K. So if you donate $10, it turns into $20. If you donate $50, it turns into $100, so on and so forth. So you are doubling your contribution if you donate right here tonight. So I'm guessing you're here tonight because you care about gender equity and that women and girls all over the world should have this opportunity. And I don't know, for those of you out there who, I remember hearing the story from Celeste of the name of this organization, Days for Girls, is when girls don't have these products, they actually miss like tons of days. I don't know how many it is. It's a lot. I don't remember the number, but all of these days that they aren't able to go to school, that they aren't able to work and make money for their family. So the idea of these menstrual kits is giving girls their days back. By giving girls their days back, it is giving them their life back. It is giving them this opportunity to learn, to grow, to thrive in their life and not just survive. So all you need to do, if you think about it, $10, how many kits do you want to donate tonight? Is it 1? Is it 10? Is it 100? Right? If there's 100 of us on here, 100 people donate $100, that's 10K. 100 people donate $50, that's 5K. And then we get matched by Altera. So that is our invitation, our hope, our goal, and our dream. And for those of you who are just getting to know what Days for Girls is all about, we have an incredible video to show you. So I am going to click on this next slide, and this helps show you what Days for Girls is really all about. Okay, here we go.
Girls miss school because they don't have appropriate washable pads, and that's nine weeks of the year. And if a girl loses school for 9 weeks in a year, you cannot expect that girl to perform well, and it means that she's going to face poverty. She looks down on herself.
Most of the times you find that the girl child is far much behind than the boy child, because they have all these challenges that they are having, and that includes them not having good and quality sanitary pads. Once that a girl child gets an education, it's like the whole nation is educated. And it's very important because that gives her power, the power to choose. You have the power to change things. And so that's very important to a girl child.
The women and girls will go to shed during the menstruation, and they have to stay for 5-6 days because menstruation is considered impure, unclean, and if they stay, it's not safe. It's very dangerous for the women and girls. Every year, 4 or 5 women die staying in a Chobadi hut.
A lot of girls are misinformed about menstruation. We want to give them the appropriate menstrual hygiene education and information so that the girl child is safe at home, she's safe in the community, and she's safe at school. So this commodity is very important for the girl child.
The Days for Girls, the curriculum is very simple and make them, the women and girls, powerful at the same time, make them feel proud and easy, comfortable. This can change many women and girls.
Wow, that was amazing. Oh my goodness. All right. So I think that we're gonna stop sharing the screen, I'm pretty sure, and come back and we can just be with you all for a moment. All right. So yeah, I mean, hopefully for those of you out there who are not familiar with Days for Girls, that really gave you an opportunity, like an insider's view of like what your donation will and can do for women and girls all over the world, to give girls their days back and their lives back and have opportunities to thrive. They get to become educators and, you know, leaders in their community, and to crush the stigma of menstruation and periods all over the world. And so we are, again, so honored and so grateful that you are with us tonight. And I'm excited to get to interview the CEO of Days for Girls, Tiffany Larson. So I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about her, and then we'll bring her up to the stage. I think Jessica will help us out with that. There's a little, again, working with the delay. There we go. Okay. Tiffany Larson is the CEO of Days for Girls. She previously served as the Days for Girls Chief Operating Officer, Chief Program Officer, and International Chapters Director. During her years at Days for Girls, she has seen time and time again the dedication of the Days for Girls Network, and truly believes Days for Girls attracts the best people on the planet. Please welcome to the stage, Tiffany Larson.
So good to be here. Thank you, Marley.
Yeah, I'm so honored to connect with you tonight, and for this amazing community to learn more about why you love this organization so much. So questions for you. We'll kick things off.
Okay, let's get it going.
Let's get this party started, shall we? Okay. How did you get involved with Days for Girls, and why do you care so much about this mission and this organization?
Good question. So the first time that I heard about Days for Girls was about between 7 and 8 years ago. And I was working with another organization that was focused on those affected with leprosy in Southern India, and had been really involved with that org, and ran into someone doing Days for Girls programming in Southern India. And I was very intrigued, and I started asking a lot of questions. As soon as I got to a computer, I looked up Days for Girls and needed to know all the information. And I was flabbergasted. If you watch Celeste TED Talk and hear about how Days for Girls began, it started with asking the question, what are girls doing for menstruation? And it was like, how have we not thought of that? And I had that same experience. How have I not thought of that? And realized that I had been working with the girls with this organization, and it never once occurred to me to ask that question. So fast forward, I ended up deciding to get involved with Days for Girls. So that's how I heard about Days for Girls and decided to get on board. The reason that I am so passionate about this work is because of the difference that it makes in individual women's lives. You can look at the big numbers. You can look at the 2.6 million people that we've reached in 145 countries. And that's kind of almost hard to wrap your head around. But when you see an individual girl or a group of girls, like the video at the beginning where the girls are cheering, receiving a kit, or the video that we just watched, and you see during the course of our education, we do a 90-minute health education along with every kit distribution. And you see the progression from the beginning where it's filled with shame, it's filled with secrecy and taboo, and you can feel that in the air. And then as we're going through the education, the shoulders dropping and absorb, you can see the information absorbing that and acceptance happening of, without periods, there wouldn't be people. And that having a period is a healthy part of being a woman, and that there are women all over the world that are experiencing menstruation, and this is a healthy part of who you are, and that it becomes a celebratory thing. And when a woman has access to education about her body, and then she has access to the supplies that she needs, there's no holding her back. And I've had the opportunity, I've been lucky enough to see that happen over and over again. Can I just share really super quick experience?
You can share away. I think it's awesome for people to hear, like, beyond the large numbers, like those moments are profound for these women who have this newfound sense of self and education and awareness and letting go of the stigma of it and having pride and connection and community. So share.
Well, I would say that very quickly after becoming a part of Days for Girls, I had a couple of experiences that affected me in different ways and grounded me to the mission in different ways. So very shortly after becoming a part, I got to go to Haiti and be a part of a Days for Girls kit distribution. We say distribution, but that just means that we're giving a kit and education to a girl. And with that particular experience, we were working alongside some mobile medical units, and we were working way out in the very remote parts of Haiti. And when the women would come to see us, we would do the education, we would distribute the kits, and we would, as a part of that, we would ask, what have you been using for menstruation? And it's different in every country, different access and different things. But what they almost consistently were saying was we were using disposable pads. But then as we started asking some more questions, we realized that because of lack of access, there was one pad. So they were using one pad for the duration of that cycle, and oftentimes for multiple cycles, that they were trying to wash and reuse that one pad. And because of the absorption of disposable pads, they weren't drying quickly enough, bacteria was forming, and there was a lot of infections that were happening as a result of that. And so of the women that we were seeing, there was probably around a really high percentage, I would say 70-ish% of the women that we were seeing. Now, granted, they were coming to a mobile medical unit, so that's not of the whole population, but of the ones that we were seeing, around 70% had urinary tract infection, yeast infections that were all stemming from the lack of access to adequate supplies to take care of their menstruation. And so I hadn't realized until then the very strong link that menstrual health plays in overall health, and how much the education that we're doing really affects that. The education that we do directly affects that, and then having access to supplies. So that was a really important moment for me that I realized, wow, this is huge. And then I had another opportunity to, in East Africa, I was in Tanzania, and we were out in a remote rural village and working with some of the local leaders there. Days for Girls is all about supporting local leadership. And we got to go to a school and get all the girls together, the older girls, and we did this beautiful education and distribution. And that was a really great experience. But what was really significant to me was the next day, we got to get all the moms, all of their moms came, and we got to do it with them. So you sometimes think that this is a girl issue, the girls don't know, but the moms would know, but it's actually not the case. When there's stigma and shame attached to things, these things are just not talked about. And this information is not available oftentimes. And so we gathered, there's 150 of these moms that were together, and we had an amazing education session. They asked amazing, insightful questions, and it was just beautiful. These women are so smart and amazing. And at the end, there was a moment that I will never forget. There was a group of women that gathered around those of us that had been doing the programming. And they said, "Thank you so much for coming. Now we can be proud to be women." And there's so many layers of empowerment that they have the information that they need, that they know what's going on with their body. They know why it's going on. They know how to take care of themselves. They have the supplies that they need to take care of themselves, and that they can do it. I liked how you said earlier that they're not just surviving, they're thriving, so that now we can be proud to be women. And I see over and over again that we need more women stepping into that space of having confidence and being able to step into their potential, because when you unleash that power, so many beautiful things start happening. And so for me, I feel like someone is born with all of this potential. And then for those that menstruate, when menstruation starts, there's a door that's closed. They don't have access to the supplies that they need. There's 5 days out of every single month that they don't have what they need. And if they don't have the education to know why that's happening, that's scary. It's not something they can talk about. They're experiencing pain that they don't understand. There's all these layers. And then what Days for Girls does is it is opening that door of opportunity so that she can step in every day of the month, giving them their days back so that she can realize her potential. And, you know, that there are a lot of organizations tackling a lot of really important things. There's organizations that tackle health. There's, gender-based violence, economic empowerment, education, food scarcity. I mean, you have all these different issues that are huge and need tackled. And from my perspective, and why one of the reasons that I was really drawn to this work is that menstrual equity is at a really central linchpin point that affects all of those things. That if you're trying to work on education, but you haven't addressed menstrual health, there's this barrier, literally of 5 days of every single month that a girl doesn't either have access or can't show up with confidence, whatever that looks like. So to me, this is, if you talk about causes to get involved in that really have high impact and high ways to really make a huge difference, menstrual equity is one of them. And I had no idea until 7 or 8 years ago that this was. But what I see carry out over and over is that is the case. And that once that opens up that door of opportunity, that's not holding her back anymore. Let her go, and that she can tackle it. So anyway, some thoughts.
I love it. I love it. No, I mean, I think that you're right. Like this idea that this is the key to the castle that unlocks that opportunity. And when you talk about, job opportunities or educational opportunities, like this is it. And I was just doing some hardcore math, right? Because I was trying to figure out the days, and it is significant, everybody.
3,000 days in a lifetime.
Right? How many? 3,000 days. And I was doing it just for a year.
On average.
On average, right? So just for a year, right? If that's 5 days a month, 60 days a year, that's 8 weeks. That's 2 months. 2 months a year, they can't work or go to school.
Yep. And what Eunice said in that video, I actually wrote it down when I just heard it, when she says she looks down on herself. She said that when that is happening and she can't attend school and these things are happening, she looks down on herself. And those are the types of things that we actually can change.
Yeah. And that confidence is huge, right? And giving them their dignity back and feeling proud of who they are. Like we can be proud to be women now.
Yep.
And I mean, I can't think of a better cause to contribute to. So do it. All right. We have a couple more questions for you. So speaking of which, why do you believe that people should donate to Days for Girls when there's like, you were kind of going there with all of the things that we care about or all the causes that are out there. Like, why Days for Girls?
Yeah, no, thank you for that question. I would say, again, it goes back to the impact on individual women. And I actually was hoping that we could show those slides in Nepal. Could you pull those up? Do you have access to it? Do you have the power?
I might have the power. Oh, Jessica has the power.
Jessica's on it.
We're going to share some photos so we can get the visual here.
Yeah. So I was thinking when the video that we just watched, which was gorgeous and gave me all the feels, Maya, our Nepal country director, was on there, and she talked briefly about a practice called chapati. And that is a practice where in Nepal, women traditionally go into a menstrual hut apart from their family and friends during their period. And so they are considered untouchable and they need to go into a menstrual hut. So this has actually been outlawed. This is illegal in Nepal, but the practice is there. And the true belief is that if I'm with my family, if I'm with my friends, then the ill health, ill will, all these bad things will happen. And so it continues. So these are some pictures of the menstrual huts. They look like different things, but our team, we have an office in Nepal, and they are working to address this issue. Do you want to go to the next slide, Jessica?
Wow.
The team, our amazing team. Oh, I think there was a picture of our Nepal team, and they, maybe it's somewhere. Anyway, it was just a picture of our office staff in Nepal, but we are all about local leadership, and those local leaders are addressing this issue. They are doing the Days for Girls education. They're providing menstrual health products, but they're specifically addressing this issue. And wherever we're at in the world, the education is customized to the unique things that are going on and the unique cultural traditions that need to be addressed. And local leaders know those best. And so by doing community events and talking to community leaders, and they're facilitating all of these important conversations, the girls are starting to understand, wait a second, now I understand I have a uterus, and this is what's going on with my menstrual cycle. Like, I understand this is not confusing or secret or taboo anymore. I'm now understanding what's going on with my body, and I'm understanding that. And so look at what's happening. The girls themselves are tearing down the menstrual huts. That is what is happening right now. That's not someone else coming in and doing that for them. This is basically give a man a fish, if you will. This is like, you teach the education, and the girls felt that, and now they're like, no more.
Yeah.
So this is what's happening in Nepal. So this is just one example. We could talk about example after example after example, but you could point why to donate to Days for Girls. It's because this is an important issue that affects so many issues. You can talk about the 2.6 million women and counting that we have affected. But really what it all comes down to is the individual life experiences that are happening. And Days for Girls does this really effectively. If you're wanting a really tangible way to make a difference, this is it. I mean, if you say $10 or about $10 it takes to do a kit, depending on where you're at in the world, supply chain issues, but about $10, we can get a kit to a girl, and she will have what she needs for the next 3 to 5 years. And she will always have had that education with her forever. So that's what I'd say.
That's incredible. Yeah. I mean, and these kits are pretty incredible, and they're all, and one of the things that I know that I learned from Celeste, it's like, there are people that have jobs that get paid to make these products, and the educators get paid. Like, so there's job opportunities for them. And, it comes with like everything you need. Like, it comes with like, and I know that like people in the US might be like, oh, underwear, but like, that's a big deal.
That is a huge deal. And we have some really cool videos on our YouTube channel of
like
them throwing out the things in the kit or pulling out, and the cheer that goes up when the underwear comes out.
And it's incredible. All like made with like just so much love and all the cool like fabrics and stuff. And I mean, there's like a washcloth for them to wash themselves, and it's like replaceable, like all sorts of different like things that they can wear, 3 to 5 years.
Yep.
They can
And longer. We've had reports of them using them
they can use
longer.
these.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yep. And
it's
it's now patented. The Days for Girls kit has gone through 31 iterations because of listening to
Wow.
feedback of those that are using the kits. And we're always focused on continual improvement. So we're now on the 31st iteration. It is now a patented pad. And you're absolutely correct. We have 131 social enterprises. No, wait, 124 social enterprises in 31 countries. And we have over 20,000 active volunteers right now that are located primarily in the US, Canada, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, and a couple other countries that are all sewing these kits and working to get them distributed. Days for Girls, I say it all the time, but Days for Girls attracts the best people on the planet. This would only be possible.
Wow.
Celeste frequently says it's all about the power of we.
it is.
Absolutely true. It takes all of us to do this, but this is, as you said earlier, this is something we can tackle in our lifetime.
Right. Yeah. This is the
Mhm.
change. Like, we want to be the change we want to see in the world. Hopeful optimist, your first mission, donate to
Yeah.
Days for Girls. And I was just looking inside the kit, right? It has like everything like you
Mhm.
need, like here's how to use it,
Mhm.
and even like tracking your cycle and how
Yep.
to do
And that takes care of it for a year. You can track your menstrual cycle for 1 year
this
on
little
that.
thing that they
Mhm.
give. I love it. So
Yep.
we're kind of going there. And you kind of mentioned some of these things, but like, what makes this work so sustainable and so scalable, like to reach that many people? Like, how
Yeah.
does Days for Girls do it?
How do
How
we
do
do
you
it?
do it? How do you do it?
So Days for Girls is in a really interesting spot right now. And the menstrual health space is in a unique spot. Back in 2008, when Days for Girls started, this was not something that anyone was talking about. Now that's very different. Governments are paying attention to this. Really large, really big nonprofits are working on this. Different corporate sponsors are really interested in getting involved. There's a lot of partners. And so we're at a unique place as far as scaling right now that we have a lot of opportunities that are honestly kind of banging at our door. The main thing that's holding us back from being able to do that is funding. So just one example I want to pull out is starts with a C, and it's in Asia and Cambodia. Say this went out of my head.
You got
We
it.
have a really exciting opportunity that we started recently in Cambodia. We are working with the Ministry of Health in Cambodia to implement Days for Girls curriculum in their national curriculum so that every child in school will receive Days for Girls menstrual health education. We have been working with them. We have all the agreements in place. We've done the pilot project. Our chief program officer has been flying over intermittently throughout the whole last year, training all the master teachers of the country. The master teachers have been training the other teachers. The other teachers have been doing the first pilot group of students, and they're wanting to roll it out across the country. We have other countries that are also wanting to get involved. If you talk about scale and about opportunities that are just sitting there ready to impact a lot of people really quickly, we have a lot of them right now, and it's really exciting, and we need funding to make that happen.
Wow. That
Isn't that
is
amazing?
really, yeah, that's huge.
It is.
And to
beyond
have it,
huge.
that education in traditional schools
Mhm. Yeah.
all over the country and globally, all over the world.
Yeah.
And again,
it's-
like that difference that makes for their confidence, and
Mhm.
confidence for girls is everything. Who they think that they can be, the opportunities that they have, standing up for themselves,
Mhm.
waiting longer to get married, or
Mhm.
having a job that, because they have the education, they can get a different type
Yeah.
of job to be able to serve their family and their community. And
Yeah.
it's
Absolutely.
everything.
Absolutely. And, and sometimes with, the education plays a huge part of confidence. The menstrual products obviously have a huge part in confidence. What we see traditionally is that women use a whole variety of things to manage their menstruation. I mean, they're grabbing stuff to use. They're not just like, oh, well, we don't have anything. They're women. They're going to get it done. They just sometimes lack the resources. And so what we see typically is that sometimes they use unsecured strips of cloth. Sometimes it is other disposable products that, they have to reuse for a very long time. Sometimes it's rolled up toilet paper if they have access to that. But I would say a large part, they're using a lot of natural resources that are either absorbent or would block any absorption. So they are using grass, leaves, feathers, bark, rock, sand, or soil of some kind. They're using trash. They're using cow dung. And if you think about using any of those products, I mean, when I started my period, I was terrified of leaking through. I mean, and I had products that were appropriate to use. And right. I mean, if you think about trying to manage and go to school while you're dealing with that, potentially without adequate wash facilities and toilets and some place to dispose of, soiled strips of cloth or whatever, it's a really difficult situation. But the good news is that there's a solution. And that's one of the things I love most about Days for Girls is that there are so many problems in this world, so many huge issues, but this is one we can tackle. There is a specific solution. It's tangible, it's not expensive, and it's happening. Like, people can literally just get involved and we can tackle this. It's not like, what do we do? Whatever shall we do?
Right.
It's
we know what to do.
Yeah.
And you're doing it. Mm-hmm. And that is such a, sometimes, again, when I was talking about like in all of the inequities that are happening and all of the chaos of the world, and it can lead to people feeling really hopeless of what can I do, right? What can one person do? And we wanted to kick the campaign off tonight with an opportunity for all of you who are here to support this mission and go to bed saying like, I made a difference for 1 girl, 10 girls, 20 girls for the next 3 to 5 years. Their life will be different because I donated and I contributed to this cause. And what I love about what you've shared is the ripple effect, right? The effect that it has on their mind, their spirit, their body, their health, again, the education and their opportunities. It gives them their days back. It gives them their life back, their power back. And that is priceless. And I think sometimes for us a lot of people here live in the United States, and these are sometimes like the silly, like sometimes I don't think we think about it because we take it for granted that we do have access to these things.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And it's not something that we're like, we have fear or concern about. And even if we, have those products, there's still the stigma of like, it's still something that people don't talk about, even in, we have the products, right? But
yeah,
I think to put yourself in those situations, to imagine like, what would it be like if I didn't have this? And like you said, the solution is simple. We know what it is. And tonight you have an opportunity to contribute to that solution.
Here.
Here.
Well said.
Love it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really exciting. And, it's interesting. We even are seeing that there's a lot of needs in high income countries, that this is both a low, middle, and high income country issue. So yeah, it's a lot of people around the world. 500 million women lack access to what they need.
Wow. Here are some photos that we have of girls receiving their amazing, colorful kits, right? They're not like these like little hide it away like brown. Yep. They're like, hey, like look at me, And they're like holding it and celebrating it and cheer, like how
right.
Again, that's on purpose.
That is. It's stain hiding. The very first iteration of the Days for Girls kit was sewn as white, but as soon as you soil and stain a white product, are you going to want to hang that out in your front yard to dry? No. And so we thought, as we progress down the iterations, it's now in stain, bright, colorful, cheerful, stain busting fabric.
I love it. Well, we want to thank all of the people that have already donated. And if you haven't yet, you still have time, and know that whatever you donate again is going to get matched. Double that.
So cool. Thanks to Altera for their very generous matching donation. That was incredible.
Yeah, that's amazing. So thank you, Tiffany, for sharing your stories, your heart, your passion for the work that you all are doing, and sharing where the future is going with Days for Girls and the difference that people can make tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you. We so appreciate you and all of your support. And thank you to everybody that's on this call listening in. I say it all the time. Days for Girls attracts the best people on the planet. If we were all in a room, I guarantee you'd be my favorite people, because if you care about this issue, you're probably one of my favorite people.
It's true. We're all friends.
Exactly. And thank you, Jessica, for managing the tech.
Oh, you're welcome.
Speaking of Jessica,
I'm back here trying to get my video back.
we can
see you.
You can see me. Okay, good. I hid my video, and so I can't see me. I'm like, where did I go? You guys just did amazing. This has just been incredible. We've had so many amazing donations come in while you're talking. I don't know.
Thank you.
But
I was focused on talking. I didn't even check.
Oh my gosh, it's
That's
incredible.
amazing.
Yes, it's incredible. So our goal tonight was $10,000, and with the $5,000 match from Altera, we're really close to getting there. We've been raising money all day. Tiffany and I were out speaking today in honor of International Day of the Girl, and out hustling, trying to raise some money and really help girls around the world in honor of this unique day, which was actually, I learned today, it was founded 10 years ago. So this day has been around for a really long time, and it really is a special day for Days for Girls. It is a day to honor the girls that we serve. And that's why you see all these amazing faces on the screen here, these smiling girls that are receiving their Days for Girls kits, and what a difference that makes. And I've actually can't believe I've been with Days for Girls for over 2 years now, and I still haven't been on a distribution because of COVID.
Coming soon.
So Tiffany, though, you can talk about the feeling of watching these girls get their kits. Can you just tell us a little bit about just a little bit of how that warms your heart?
Absolutely. So I had the opportunity, if you remember back, I shared that I found out about Days for Girls when I was in Southern India working with another organization. And about a year after being with Days for Girls, I had the amazing full circle moment to be able to go back to that group and be able to do Days for Girls programming there. And the girls walked into the room and they knew me. I've known them for a long time. But when they realized that it was going to be about menstruation, when we were going to talk about menstruation, there was that same heavy feeling that came over. And as we started talking, I wish that I could describe enough the shift that happens where there's like, oh, we're talking about something that's secretive and shameful. And then all of a sudden their eyes start opening up wider, their shoulders drop and start relaxing. They almost just take a full breath in where we're telling them, and they're receiving it. Having a period is a healthy part of who you are. And without periods, there would not be any people on this world. So having a period is a good thing. This is a good part of who you are, and understanding what's going on. So it's not scary or unexpected. And also realizing that their sister or their friend that's sitting next to them, wait, you have a period too, and that we can support each other, and that like, I have cramps, you have cramps, wait, okay. And so all of a sudden it just the feeling starts to lighten. And then as soon as you get to the part where you're handing out a Days for Girls kit and they're receiving something that is beautifully made, it's bright and soft and obviously made with a lot of care, there is something that just changes, that all of a sudden they're like, yeah, like I got this. And it's like they've heard all this information, and then the Days for Girls kit kind of like settles that in and grounds it, but also lightens it at the same time. And one of my very favorite things that I heard, we had done data collection of, I believe it was in Eswatini in Southern Africa, where we went in and did a distribution and then collected data about 3 months afterwards. And the younger sister of someone that had gotten a kit, somehow they collected her data. And the comment was, I can't wait to start my period because I will get to use a Days for Girls kit. And that's what we want, that this is a celebratory thing, that this is a beautiful part of who you are, and that now nothing is holding you back. So
amazing. Oh, thank you for sharing that. It's incredible.
Nothing is holding you back. I love it. Boom. Mic drop.
Amazing. Yes. Well, we've reached the top of the hour and we want to be respectful for everybody's time. And so we just want to say thank you for joining us this evening. This is the first time we've ever held a virtual fundraiser. So thank you for being here for the inaugural event. We hope to do this every year. And so we'll hopefully see you next year for the second Power of the Pad, which we hope to be an annual event. And we're going to continue. We're going to leave the fundraising page open for a few more days. So if you think about it and you decide you want to make a donation, you can still come back to this link, or you can also go to our website at daysforgirls.org and you can donate there as well. And all of the donations that come in right now are going towards our end of the year campaign, which is raising money for menstrual health education and Days for Girls kits for women and girls around the world. And that includes women in vulnerable populations such as refugees in Ukraine and women in Africa who are living in marginalized communities and don't have access to menstrual health pads or the resources to get those pads. So, and it also includes women and girls in the United States who, are in prisons or experiencing homelessness. So, and don't have access to menstrual health pads. So we are literally all over the world, and we are looking forward to sharing with you more about what we do. So please follow us at daysforgirls.org. And you can sign up for our newsletter there. You can check us out on social media at Days for Girls. We're on all the social media places, wherever you prefer. And then if you want to share tonight anything that you learned, we'd love for you to share about us with using the hashtag IWD for international. Whoa, I put IWD. International Women's Day, International Day of the Girl. It'd be IDG. Sorry, IDG 2022 would be the hashtag that you should use for tonight. Thank you all for being here. We're going to say goodbye, and thank you for everyone's donation. If you donated tonight, we're so grateful. If you didn't donate, we're just grateful for you to be here and for you to be a part of our movement. You're always welcome at Days for Girls. Thank you, everyone, and have a good night.
Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you. It takes all of us to make this happen.